how many lives are you living? Let me ask you again. How many lives are you living? One, right? That's what I used to think. But whenever I this quote that most of us have two lives, the one that we live and the one that we want to live, and the resistance between the two is what holds us back, I realized that I had unfulfilled dreams that I wanted to accomplish, and my fears and my obstacles got in the way. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I was born in Delaware, but I moved to Pakistan when I was 5. I lived there for 6 years until I was 11. But my 6 years in Pakistan shaped my perspective on life. And later on, when I was 24, I moved to the Middle East, working as a product manager selling pipeline accessories. And during my time there, I got married and had a son. His name is Abdulla Mian. Isn't he adorable? Sorry, there's no audio. But as you know, the Middle East is unstable right now. Bahrain wasn't any different, so there were protests going on, for instance. So what this meant was that my family and we couldn't go out to a restaurant or to the grocery store. Normally, we had to think 3 times about where we went and when we went. Completely changed the way we lived our lives. These are things that we take for granted in America. And live life. At Star School, we learned that you need to focus on problems that you are passionate about, that keep you up at night. Although the protests bothered me and were a concern, it wasn't what kept me up at night. What kept me up at night was this guy, rummaging through the trash. I used to wake up and see him, and he reminded me of my childhood in Pakistan. Although I came from a middle-class family, poverty is never far away in a third world country. You see it everywhere. But when you see poverty at such an extreme, it becomes the norm. It becomes a fact of life. People accept it. What's the saying? It is what it is. I disagree. I don't think this is normal. This is abnormal. This should not exist. So, going back to this guy, instead of going back to sleep or telling him to shut up and never come back that night, I said to him, I went out and had a conversation with him. Hey, where are you from? He said, Bangladesh. What brought you here? He said, work, similar to me. So, why are you rummaging through the trash? He said, I'm recycling stuff. I need to gather this. I came here for another job. I couldn't get that. So I have to gather this material for recycling. Do you have any idea how much he makes? For 100 kilos, he gets $3. That's 220 pounds. That's a lot of work for that much pay. Although I gave him some money and I gave him some scrap, I wasn't happy. I wanted to have a greater impact. I realized my power was limited. The power of one was limited to my family, friends, and colleagues. That's the impact radius that we all have. The people that we can help. I wasn't satisfied. I saw technology as a means of reaching more people. Not only that, but specifically choosing which area, which aspect of a person's life I want to impact. If I want to help them voice their opinions to the government, if I want to help them learn, and much more. So I began to learn how to code online. While my wife was in Pakistan, I took a week off of work to learn HTML and CSS. In that 1 week, I learned it's going to take a lot more time to learn how to solve problems using technology. So I went online, I began searching. I found Star School. On the bottom of the website, there's this letter. When I read it, it completely resonated with what I wanted to accomplish in life and what they were trying to do. which was not only building an application, but building a company, which has an impact. So I spoke to my wife. Resistance comes in many forms. In this case, my wife, she has some obvious concerns. Who's going to support us? Where are we going to live? I don't know. But after she went through the website, just like I did, she said, this is for you. I mean, if you don't do this, you're going to regret it your entire life. I'm not going to hold you back. And I had to make the hard decision of leaving her with my parents in Delaware for 9 months while I'm in Chicago. And she accepted living with my parents. So I applied and I got in. So we began packing. We packed the most important stuff and gave the rest away. So I left my wife in Delaware and I came to Chicago to start school. See, when I came here, I had some preconceived notions of what I was good at and what I wasn't. I thought I was good at programming. I'd be good at coding. It was my thing. Because I had tried some of it on Udacity, on Team Treehouse, but unfortunately it didn't turn out that way. What I learned was my skill lies in user experience and just thinking about people, how they're going to use it, just thinking about a larger purpose. For example, I came across this article about Typhoon Haiyan, which hit the Philippines last year. It killed 6,000 people, 1,000 missing. There was only one medical team able to make it over there. Only one medical team. Think about it. In today's day and age, we can only get one medical team to a disaster zone. I knew there was something wrong. And look at what they did. 109 surgeries, 2 amputations, 11 babies, and much more. 11 babies delivered, and much more. I thought, what if we could get more medical teams over there? So I began looking into the problem. I contacted David, the team that went there. How did you get there? What made you guys so special? Well, turns out this all comes down to coordination. Just getting the message out there, coordinating with your group. So I thought, hey, that's a problem that an application can solve. So I contacted them, and I began working on this problem, which is placing surgical teams in a disaster zone within 72 to 100 hours. That's the golden hour. That's when you can have the most impact and save the most lives. So I began doing some research and just trying to figure out what's going on. All these questions came up. Can we anticipate a disaster before it's going to happen? Can we send those messages? Can we send a message out? Where is the team going to congregate? All these questions around this problem. Can a team be deployed? If we know a disaster is going to happen based on the weather forecast, can a team be deployed beforehand to a country nearby so when a disaster happens, we can get them out there right away? I later realized after further research that the World Health Organization is trying to address the same exact problem. But they're working on a much higher level than I was. They're dealing with government organizations, aid agencies, on the highest level. I realized that I won't be able to have the same impact. And the problem was way beyond what I'd be able to do. So I turned my attention to my peers, helping them with their projects. For example, Garrett, who you just met. As he just mentioned, he was trying to figure out his users. So I helped him out with his user personas. Entrepreneur, lawyer, shareholders, his user flows and use cases. Another thing I learned, one of the things I learned in startup school is that you need to have childlike perseverance. It's different from adult perseverance. Let me show you why. That's my son. He's walking. He thinks he's got it. He knows how to walk. But then he stumbles. But he gets back up. And the difference between a child and an adult is that we don't forget our mistakes, that we hold on to them longer than a child does. He'll forget about it, and he'll just get back up as if it never happened. But I can't say I can do the same. So I learned I need to develop that and just maintain that when I'm learning something new. The power of good user experience. 2 weeks ago, we were helping Neil and Mike move from their apartment to a new one. In celebration, they were having a barbecue. The barbecue caught fire. My friend Pete, he went down to the bar and he grabbed a fire extinguisher and he handed it to me. And he asked me, "Do you know how to use it?" I'm thinking, no, but I knew it was. I just grabbed the fire extinguisher and I rushed to the deck and just pull the pin, squeeze the lever, aim the hose, and just aim and shoot, and that's it. It works. It didn't put out the fire, but it bought us enough time for the firefighters to come in. I mean, sorry. Sorry, Neil.